Hi, my name is Hannah Mohler, and for my senior project, I decided to make a cookbook titled Almost Home Recipes. My time at BYU, Idaho in the communication department has taught me a couple different things that I really wanted to incorporate into my senior project. I learned that creativity is a muscle that I can work on in order to become more creative or to open up a door towards more creativity. Another thing I learned in my time here was the importance of formatting and editing, especially in AP style, which is why this cookbook is created in AP style formatting. I also learned the importance of social media and marketing and using social media analytics to test and figure out who exactly my audience is. First section of my project is the cookbook itself. In order to make the cookbook, I had to do a lot of research on cookbooks in general, on different publishing aspects, formatting, the length, and what exactly consists of the cookbook. My cookbook, Almost Home Recipes, is comprised of 35 recipes and 7 different tips. In my cookbook, I did all of the graphic design and the layout design using InDesign and Adobe Illustrator. I also did all of the photography and the editing of the photography myself using Photoshop and using Lightroom. With the publishing, I did a lot of research on what the best publishing office would be, and I eventually decided to go with Amazon Publishing using the Kindle Direct publishing software. This allowed me to not only host both a paperback copy of the book as well as an ebook, but it allowed me to have my own ISBN number through the publishing software. I also did research on the pricing of the cookbook by looking up other cookbooks with the same amount of recipes or the same style as mine. Using Amazon Publishing, I'm also able to set up a time where I would have the cookbook released on the date that I wanted, and I chose to release the cookbook on March 20th, 2021 at 12 o'clock midnight. The second aspect of my project is over social media. I created an Instagram account for Almost Home Recipes, where I gave off a little bit of an insight on what the cookbook would be in preparation for the cookbook publishing. I also set up a later account where I created future posts. For the PR aspect of my senior project, I decided that I would create a PR plan and a marketing plan for how exactly I am going about creating the book and marketing and publishing the book. I also have written a PR press release or a news release about the upcoming announcement of the cookbook and its publishing. In order to measure success of this project, I decided that I would focus on the pre-sales numbers as well as the sales numbers once the cookbook is released to the public, as well as the different reviews I have and the Instagram and Facebook analytics from the posts and the success of the posts. Linked in this video, you can see. In working on my senior project, I learned a few things that I'm going to take with me when I graduate. In food photography, it's important to recognize that all of your food needs to be photographed in good natural lighting. The first time I photographed all of my images, I did not think that lighting was as important as it was, thinking that I could fake the lighting with a UV light or with extra lights and edit it later in Lightroom or in Photoshop, but it didn't work out and the food did not look appetizing. So I decided to retake all of the photos with better lighting and better backdrops. I also noticed that the layout in food photography and the styling around the food, having placemats or other elements in the photo, helps to entice the eye and add a little bit more to the photos than if I just took an overhead shot of a plate of food. Another thing I learned is that it's important to edit your text at least 3 times because there's always something that you've missed. One thing I didn't expect to learn while working on this project was a new program called Kindle Create. When I was transitioning my book from a paperback copy to an ebook in order to upload to Kindle Direct Publishing, I spent a few hours trying to work on reformatting in InDesign until I decided to download and attempt to use Kindle Create. I learned how to use the programming, and it actually ended up helping me better than I would have been able to do myself in InDesign. By posting on my personal account and asking my friends and family to share the posts on their accounts, I was able to generate more engagement and receive more likes, follows, comments, and more attention towards the cookbook, as well as more inquiries about when it will be publishing.